Welcome to Porto Alegre and ESPN's coverage of this international friendly. Hello everyone, Mark Donaldson alongside Flavio Pereira for Brazil against France, their final match before the Confederations Cup begins next weekend. Flavio, so do you expect much experimenting from Scolari today, given the fact he's only made the one change?
Yeah, he made one change. It was the left back Marcelo returning today and play for Brazil. And last week Brazil played well against England. Fred scored the first goal for Brazil, putting Brazil ahead in the first half. But then England came back in the second half.
Yeah, two good goals for England. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain getting one back at the opening of the Maracanã. Ready for the World Cup. Then this super effort from Wayne Rooney. Little deflection, but top corner. And from behind, England with 12 minutes to go were ahead. However, Paulinho scored this one for the equalizer, Flavio.
Nice cross by Lucas. Lucas came in the second half. Paulinho, beautiful volley, tied the game to 2-2.
Yeah, but they weren't too happy with Scolari. They booed him when he replaced Oscar, and he said they need to be more patient. Well, they don't have to wait too much longer. 6 more days before they entertain Japan in their first Confederations Cup match in Brasilia. Then it's Mexico in Fortaleza and Italy in Salvador. Decent crowd for this one in Porto Alegre. And they get to see this man, Neymar. It's been quite a week for him, Flavio.
Yeah. Finally signed with Barcelona. Last Monday he was there, Camp Nou, and signed with Barcelona. Big party for him, and he's emotionally ready now with this problem resolved.
He's ready for Barcelona. Before that, he's ready for Brazil against France. It's next on ESPN.
Parker with 2 to shoot, and he banks it in! What a shot from Parker!
Already with 3 rings, the Spurs' big 3 has shown their hunger for 4 as they take the series back to San Antonio. But the reigning king looks to put the Heat back on track with a road win in Game 3. The NBA Finals, Game 3, Heat, Spurs, live Wednesday on ESPN.
Step into the ring each week with top-ranked action. In the 12-round main event, 2 undefeated contenders face off in the bantamweight division. Juan Carlos Payano of the Dominican Republic takes on Philippine Jundi Morao in a WBA title eliminator. Who will remain unbeaten? From New Jersey, it's a night of world-class boxing. Friday night fights, this Saturday on ESPN2 and ESPN3.com. Baseball, there's nothing like it. And ESPN has an unstoppable lineup now through to the playoffs. All the dingers, frozen ropes, and line shots up the middle. The no-no.
That's the perfect game!
Web gems and walk-offs.
Gone! A walk-off grand slam!
Time to brush up on your lingo, because baseball's here, ready to take the stage. Angels, Orioles, live Wednesday on ESPN2.
Hey, this is Justin Timberlake.
This is Kobe Bryant.
I'm Samuel L. Jackson.
This is Jamie Foxx.
I'm Jeremy Piven. Big Snoop Dogg.
I'm Blake Griffin.
Gerard Butler.
This is Patrick Kane.
This is Spike Lee.
Kelly Slater. David Beckham.
Terrell Suggs.
I'm Jamie McMurray.
I'm Ashton Kutcher.
I'm Tim Tebow.
I'm Sugar Shane Mosley.
Hello, Castro Neves.
I'm Nick Jonas from the Jonas Brothers.
I'm Venus Williams.
Stephen Curry.
Tony Hawk.
And you're watching
Sports Center.
Sports Center.
Sports Center.
Sports Center.
Sports Center.
Shout it out.
Let's take a look at the lineups for this one. Brazil, just the one change. Filipe Luís makes way for Marcelo. Is that the starting lineup for you that will take to the field against Japan next week, Flavio?
I believe so, Mark. We see Júlio César in goal, Alves, Daniel Alves, David Luiz, Thiago Silva, and Marcelo. Luis Gustavo playing alongside Paulinho, Neymar, Hulk, and of course Fred on the top.
Yeah, with Oscar in there as well. For France, 8 changes. They've gone with the strongest team available after they lost 1-0 at Uruguay in Montevideo on Wednesday. The only 3 players that keep their place: Matuidi, Payet, and Valbuena. Some interesting matchups to keep tabs on today. Thiago Silva, who passed a fitness test after missing training on Friday, is up against his club teammates Matuidi and Sacco.
Yeah, on the other hand, too bad for Leandro Damião. Had a muscle injury. He was cut, and Filipão called Jô, center forward for Atlético Mineiro, now with the Brazilian national team.
At the Arena do Grêmio in Porto Alegre, referee for this one from Peru is Victor Carrillo. It's Brazil in their famous jerseys against France in a very stylish light blue number. Decent crowd. It's only the second time that Brazil have met France in Brazil. The last time, 1977, when our ESPN colleague Batata was earning millions. It was a 2-2 draw that day at the Maracanã.
At that time, he was signing up with Santos.
Indeed. Underway. Huge noise inside the Grêmio Arena. Brazil's global tour, they haven't had to go far, just up to Porto Alegre for this one. And this is the match that they can iron out any little problems or deficiencies they may have ahead of the Confederations Cup, which begins for them in Brasilia next weekend against Japan. Before we came on air, you made an interesting point, Flavio, as Lloris is under pressure in the early stages. Oh, still under pressure, and what a chance this is for Neymar. He took an extra touch, and possibly he could have had a shot on goal. Lloris getting away with that one. We'll get to Scolari in this point I want to make in just a second. But that was a big chance for Brazil as France get the throw. But the Brazilian fans haven't been overly sympathetic with Scolari since he took over, just the one win. But he is from this area, and he does have a fair bit of support from Grêmio and Internacional fans.
Yeah, he was very happy the way that Grêmio fans, International fans, received the Brazil national team and received Felipão as well. He used to coach Grêmio of Porto Alegre, Felipão. But Brazil need to take advantage when a chance like this happens so early in the match, man.
Well, you thought Lloris had got away with it, first of all, and then he tried a silly attempt at getting the better of Neymar, who I think maybe had the chance to get the shot off, but didn't take it. And Alves for Oscar, and the flick inside, and over the bar from Fred. This is a bright start from Brazil.
Yeah, less than 2 minutes, Brazil already with 2 chances to score a goal. And I like the way that it looks like Felipão wants the team to put a pressure on French defenders, and that's how Neymar got the opportunity right away early in this match.
They play high up the park, press pretty high. Brazil, very wide field here at Arena do Grêmio. One of the venues for next year's World Cup. David Luiz. Bonus for Brazil with captain Thiago Silva declared fit for this one. Paulinho scored that excellent goal last week. Continues to be linked to the move to Europe. Back to Europe. Had spells in Poland and Lithuania a few years ago. Cabai of Newcastle. Jeremy Mathieu providing the option wide left against Dani Alves. First corner, France.
Yeah, while Brazil played last week against England, a tie 2-2, France played against Uruguay middle of the week, and they lost to Uruguay 1-0.
Goal scored by Luis Suarez. Uruguay, another team, will be involved in Confederations Cup action. They're in the other group. A bit of height in this in this French lineup, but good goalkeeping from Julio Cesar. Nice tempo from this game to begin with. If you're watching us live in Australia or New Zealand, thank you for getting up early. I appreciate that. France are actually ranked 4 places ahead of Brazil in the world rankings, as someone pointed out to Felipão during the week, and he lost it. Said that the world rankings are rubbish just
really
now.
Did.
Because Brazil don't get the points from competitive matches because they're not playing any competitive matches because they've automatically qualified for the World Cup as hosts.
Yeah, and finally Brazil will play a competition which will start next week, and Brazil will face Japan. Japan is already guaranteed in a World Cup next year, already qualified.
Those two are the only two who've qualified so far. Japan drawing 1-1 with Australia during the week. It'll be a good test in Brasilia. There was a Brasileirão match in Brasilia a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it was the last time that Neymar played for Santos.
Yeah, his last game.
Santos against Flamengo in the 0-0. Was last game that Neymar played for Santos.
Thiago Silva. Looked like a handball from Neymar. Already switched over to the left-hand side with Hulk, Oscar and Fred, the front four. There's the handball. There's the FIFA rankings that we were talking about. I don't see Scotland in there because they just beat Croatia, but we'll not talk about that because they won't be going to the World Cup. Brazil in 22nd, the lowest ever ranking. We can't read too much into that.
And we saw Didier Deschamps, France, head coach, used to be a very good midfield player. Deschamps, very technical.
He took over last year from Laurent Blanc. Pau took over from Manu Menezes for his 23rd coaching role. His second time in charge of Brazil.
Now it's very good for Neymar that soap opera is over about him moving to Europe or not. Now he can really focus on playing his game.
Yeah, because his form had dropped.
Yes, really did.
Brazil haven't lost at home since his last match in charge, first time around, against Paraguay, August 2002. An 11-year stretch, no one has won here. That's the size of the task facing France. Valbuena with the layoff for Benzema. Former teammate of Fred, Brazilian striker at Lyon. He's not the tallest Valbuena, but nasty little challenge there. Marcelo.
Yeah, he was coming back from an injury. He wasn't playing for Real Madrid, and so that's why Luis Filipão wants him to play, get a chance to play today, and he should start for Brazil in the Confederation Cup.
There's another reason that Filipão was having a go at some of the Brazilian fans were saying, why didn't Marcelo start in midweek? He said, well, he's had a tough season. He's been fit of late. He also defended his decision to replace Oscar with Lucas against England, pointing out that Oscar had played 71 matches this season. Nice bit of skill from Dimitri Payet. The flag is up.
Yeah, good call by the linesman. Let's see over here. When the ball was played, yeah, clear offside.
15th meeting between the sides, 5 wins apiece. Interestingly enough, Brazil haven't won against France since a match at the Parc des Princes in Paris back in August 1992. Bruno Martini with their own goal and Enrique giving Brazil a 2-0 win.
And France eliminated Brazil in the World Cup 1986, 1998, and 2006.
Yeah. Remember, especially 1986, when Brazil were favourites to go and win and lost on penalties to France in the quarter-finals. Nice bit of skill. Away by Ilavogi.
Yeah, Fred should have made the run over there. He wait for the ball.
Ambitious for Marcelo.
In the 1986, the game that you mentioned, Mark, Zico missed a PK, and people, even today, people remember that PK that Zico missed. He wasn't fit 100% for that World Cup. He was coming back from a knee injury, but people still remember that one.
Everything he did in his career, and he's remembered for missing a penalty.
And then we saw the game that Brazil played against England last week, the new Maracanã, and Zico playing at Maracanã's stadium. He scored 333 goals at Maracanã.
I wonder if David Luiz will start next season at Chelsea. Bit of speculation linking him with a move away from Stamford Bridge. Coach Jose Mourinho, he was in attendance in Brussels on Friday watching Belgium against Serbia. A number of players coming back from loan next season at Chelsea. I wonder if they might try and cash in on David Luiz. Yeah, from Valbuena. This is Cabaye. This is good from the French. Payet. Offside against Cabaye. Maybe over to the left was the better option there.
I like the way the France moved this ball. Very fast, short pass. Try to get the target player But again, offside.
One little thing about this stadium, I mean, the stadium is absolutely fantastic, the Arena do Grêmio. The pitch, though, first 10 minutes you can see it's cutting up. Not the best. I thought the Maracanã pitch was a lot better last week against England.
Yeah, this is a problem they have mentioned about this pitch over here. It's not the best yet.
Jeremy Mathieu dispossessed by Thiago Silva. Strange seeing Brazil play in the number 11 not being worn by Neymar, but his choice is to wear number 10. The Confederations Cup, these are the Brazilian squad numbers for the Confederations Cup.
And that number is heavy.
Very heavy, yeah. It's a jersey that weighs a little bit more than the others. And the weight is measured in expectation. This is Valbuena. Debuchy. Nicknamed Le Petit Vélo, Mathieu Valbuena, which translates to the little bicycle because he goes all day. Only 5 feet 4.5, smallest player in the French league. And he's the main goal-scoring threat recently for France. He's scored in 3 of their last 5. Through ball is decent. Opportunity here for the French. Just couldn't get it under control, Blaise Matuidi. But again, it's the little short, sharp passes that are causing problems for the Brazilian defense.
Yeah, movements of the ball has been perfect as well for France. And he was onside on that play.
It's too much on that one. You may have wondered when Oscar gets the ball why he's being booed by the home fans. Fans have long memories. They remember his time at Internacional.
Yes.
So they boo him.
You know, Joe was called back to the national team. And he was playing for the Internacional. And when he left Internacional, he wasn't doing well. And he started his career playing for Corinthians when he was 16 years old, 15 to 16 years old, play his first pro game. He's been around, but he's a very young guy, Joe.
Even when you come and support your international team, the locals who are fans of Grêmio want to boo the former Internacional players and vice versa. This is Neymar. Nice change of pace, gets him away from Cabaye. Mathieu does well.
And basically Brazil's playing 4-2-3-1. Neymar on the left side, now Oscar is in the middle, and Hulk playing on the right side. And he's very dangerous in that position because he can strike the ball very well with his left foot. And he likes to bring the ball to the middle and then strike the ball.
Luis Gustavo. Challenge on the ground from Neymar and the free kick. Suggestions from some of the Brazilian newspapers and websites that the fans would prefer to see Fernando play instead of Luis Gustavo. What would you prefer?
Oh, I think I like Luis Gustavo. Like, I think a lot of this response came from the Grêmio fans. Because Fernando plays for Grêmio.
Benzema. I'm just sure that Filipao will be delighted he's not the one that's getting all the stick from the fans for a change.
Yeah.
Valbuena. Debuchy. Well played, David Luiz. He's penalised for a handball, indicates the assistant. Great little player, Valbuena.
In the game against England, second half, Brazil came back with Paulinho and Hernandes as the two defensive midfielder. Both players, they like to go and attack. And Filipão even said that, I'm going to take a risk a little bit more in the second half. A good thing that Paulinho scored a goal.
The problem there was the handball came from Valbuena. Assistant on the near side thought it was from David Luiz. So France have a free kick they don't really deserve and nearly get the opening goal from it.
Oh, dangerous play right there. Filipão had 2 weeks to train the team, the last 2 weeks. They should be doing a better job with set pieces, defending and attacking as well.
He's normally a centre half. Gilavogi playing as a defensive midfielder today. It's only his second cap. 22-year-old from St Etienne. Maybe he should have done slightly better with that attempt. Good delivery. Just wonder how many teams in the Confederations Cup will target Brazil from set pieces.
A lot of them.
I think so, yeah. 50 minutes gone in Porto Alegre. 0-0, Brazil against France on ESPN. Thank you for getting up early and watching us live, if that's exactly what you've done. This is Neymar. Marcelo. 3 around him.
As a matter of fact, when France beat Brazil in the World Cup in '98 and 2006, goals were scored on set pieces, corner kicks, or free kick. Remember when he had the ball in after that a free kick and Roberto Carlos was fixing his socks.
Yeah. And behind from Kabai, but not angled enough for Payet. And Benzema. Not a full house inside Arena do Grêmio. It's not often that Brazil play here. Still a decent crowd for a friendly. It's been a long 4 years of friendlies since the World Cup in South Africa for Brazil. Neymar does get the decision. The replay will tell us how much contact there was.
Oh, anyway, it's a very good opportunity for Brazil. Yeah, he got pushed off the ball there.
That's enough.
Yeah.
Debuchy with the challenge.
Let's see, Brazil has Daniel Alves for a free kick.
Well, David Luiz as well.
Hulk.
Neymar. Is it not quicker for us to say who's not going to be taking this free kick?
Yeah.
There's so many options here. We've seen David Luiz hit them for Chelsea. Dani Alves has struck them. Thiago Silva for Paris Saint-Germain. Neymar.
I think Neymar was going to take this one. Very close to the box. You should have a player that can place this ball, and then I think Neymar is going to be the player.
Hulk fancies it as well. There's another who's been linked with Chelsea. Hugo Lloris may be facing his first test of the game so far. The French captain. Hulk and Neymar.
I think he's trying to convince him. Let me take it.
Who will it be? Expectations at the Arena do Grêmio. It will be Neymar. And after all that.
But of course, when you have Hulk going for a free kick, he draws the expectation.
Yeah.
Because he can strike the ball.
It was a good challenge from Luis Gustavo to prevent that initial attack. This is Mathieu. Through from Payet, but mopped up well and away by Julio Cesar. Been some comeback from Julio Cesar. Joined QPR and fought his way back into the national team.
And he's taking the leadership of this team. It's very good because there's a lot of young players.
Yeah.
And he has enough experience, the goalkeeper Julio Cesar.
2 other goalkeepers in the squad for the Confederations Cup. Jefferson of Botafogo and Diego Cavalieri of Fluminense.
Yeah, 2 great goalkeepers. Diego Cavalieri had a tremendous year last year with Fluminense when the Fluminense won the Brasileirão. And Jefferson's playing very well as well for Botafogo.
A couple of goalkeepers could maybe feel unfortunate they didn't get selected, including Casio. Again, Mathieu keeping it simple. It was 0-0 at half-time against England last week. 4 goals in the second half. This is Marcelo. Again, Thiago Silva just creeping forward and gets it. Hulk can hit them.
Yeah, that's the play he likes to do.
What do you make of this new orange ball that will be in use during the Confederations Cup. I thought it was 1974 again.
Well, everybody's at least will be able to see it. The ball.
Yeah, but
I like when they play with the white ball.
you're an old traditionalist. You can see it's not too many empty seats. Great arena though.
Yeah, beautiful.
Home of Gremio. Internacional play it there at Rio. Both will be in use at the World Cup next year. Pretty good with the ball at his feet, Julio Cesar. Keeping it simple, David Luiz sets up Dani Alves. Luis Gustavo. 2 boos from the home support. Just that Brazil going back there.
Yeah, especially when Luis Gustavo touched the ball.
And there he is again. I want the local boy playing, Fernando. We'll see him in the second half. Challenge on Fred is legal, according to referee Victor Carrillo.
I like to see Paulinho play the way he plays for Corinthians.
Yeah, we haven't seen too much of him so far.
Supporting the attack, coming as a surprise. We saw today already a couple of players from France making those runs and trying to get behind Brazil's defense. Paulinho should do the same thing.
Very ambitious from David Luiz. Hulk keeps it in play very well. Challenge from Mathieu and the free kick for Brazil.
The boy from Paraíba, who left Brazil so young. He left Brazil when he was only 18 years old.
Tell me how you pronounce his name in Brazil.
Hulk.
Hulk.
Incredible Hulk.
Incredible Hulk.
His father gave him this nickname when he was young.
Because of the facial resemblance to Lou Ferrigno. Far too close to Hugo Lloris. Bit of a surprise. It wasn't a catch. Thiago Silva. Read by Mamadou Sakho. Sakho, a teammate of Thiago Silva. Paris Saint-Germain. Nice exchange between him, Matuidi, and Thiago Silva before kickoff.
And interesting about Hulk, Mark, is the fact that a lot of Brazilian fans, they don't know much about him because they don't have the cable TV. They don't get a chance to watch him playing when he was in Europe. He left so early, 18 years old.
Chance for France here, and then the throw of Julio Cesar. Of course, Hulk played in Portugal, now in Russia. I can't imagine the Russian league and Zenit St. Petersburg are everybody's favorite team in Brazil.
And I think like he's gonna go to Chelsea. Huh? Chelsea's interested.
I think we'll get to see a lot more of him when he goes there. If he goes there. Benzema. Challenge on Matuidi. Excellent player. Usually plays a little bit deeper with Paris Saint-Germain as a protecting role. Kind of playing a 4-1-2 and then 2 wide supporting Benzema today. Pretty flexible, France. Guilavogui will just sit in front of the back four. Protection also from Cabaye and Matuidi. Bit of space from Oscar. International fans in the crowd cheering him. A little bit sloppy there from Hulk. You just get the feeling and the sense of an incredible pressure on these Brazilian players playing at home. And this is a friendly. It's going to be worse for the Confederations Cup. What's it going to be like prior to the World Cup?
Yeah, it's a little taste they are getting. It's a very young team. That's the problem. It's going to be a lot of pressure.
Well, second place is nothing for Brazil at the World Cup next year. It's win or bust. Mathieu. Pretty even match so far, midway through the first half on ESPN. Mark Donaldson alongside Flavio Pereira. This is Marcelo. Away from Cabai.
I'd like to see Brazil get a little bit more combination from the sides, with Daniel Alves on the right side and Hulk, and here on the left side, Marcelo and Neymar.
Neymar away from Debuchy. Strong challenge on Marcelo. Referee not interested. Guilavogui is playing like a man who's played 22 times for France, not just 2.
Yeah, strong challenge. But at least we saw Marcelo making the run and Neymar supporting Neymar on that play, not just leaving Neymar with 2 or 3 defenders marking him.
A lot of interested clubs in Europe looking at Joshua Guilavogui, Saint-Etienne. He came through their youth system. Also a report in England today that Chelsea and Manchester United are after Elakim Mangala of Porto. He started against Uruguay on Wednesday. He's on the bench today. Mangala, another who's only played once for his country before today. Not too much goalmouth action.
Yeah, they marking Neymar very close. You see over here, nothing there. Good anticipation by the French player.
I think he can get used to that, Neymar, because I think he'll spend a fair bit of time on the ground when he's at Barcelona. He'll be targeted by the opposition.
And Filipão is keeping Neymar here on the left side. Maybe he should move a little bit more there.
Fred. There's again Guilavogui.
When Mano Menezes was coaching Brazil, Neymar had a different job. He was moving a little bit more to different positions in the front, even playing as a target man.
Never far away, Debuchy from Neymar. And Newcastle. Debuchy in the French contingent there in January. Wide by Oscar. Haven't seen too much of him today. France a little bit slow there after clearing it. Luis Gustavo. Excellent play by Hulk, trying to get the crowd on their feet, and they respond. Corner kick, Brazil's first.
Very good play. He brought the ball to his right foot.
Quickly taken. Good header from Mathieu. Neymar. And the block from Guilavogui. This is better from Brazil. Minutes ago you called for more width from Brazil, and that's what they've provided. You know, I just looked at the positioning of the Brazilian players there, and there was space at the back post, and I wondered if Thiago Silva would make that run to the back post. Instead he made the front post run, it's overhit, and then that happens. The amount of times that balls can be overhit from set pieces, and all it takes is someone coming around the back to keep it in play, and the chance goes a-begging if there's no one, like there wasn't anybody there.
Yeah, that's why communication is a big piece here. So important, and even the captain, Thiago Silva, mentioned about this, that he would like to see today the Brazilian players talking a little bit more often with each other on the field, helping each other. Communication is very important.
First card of the game. I don't think he can have any complaints, David Luiz. It's not been his first challenge of the game, and that was a bit strong on Dimitri Payet.
Yeah, tough challenge by David Luiz.
Tough player. Only 2 yellow cards in Brazil's last match against England. Hulk and Phil Jones. Referees are a little bit more lenient in friendly matches.
And that match was very clean. Brazil against England was a great match.
Can the Spurs go 2-0 up against the Heat? NBA Finals Game 2 live for you this morning at 10 a.m. Far more civilized time for you in Australia and New Zealand. And will LeBron and the Heat level things up at 1-1?
Now, Mark, one thing that Filipão tested this week with the Brazil national team was David Luiz playing defensive midfielder with Dante in the back with Thiago Silva. He can play in that position because he's a player that can distribute the ball very well. He can strike the ball from outside the box, pass the ball so well, and he's a very strong marker.
Well, he played quite a lot in that position for Chelsea towards the end of the season. Ivanovic and Gary Cahill as central defenders. Not a bad delivery to the back post, and what a great challenge that was from Debuchy on Neymar. Didn't get any of the ball, but he did enough to put Neymar off.
Yeah, Brazil is creating some good plays, bringing the ball outside, making the cross to the far post. In this case was Neymar making the run.
He got the final touch and appeals for a corner in vain. Just over half an hour gone in Grêmio's new stadium. 0-0, Brazil and France. Continuing coverage of Brazil's World Tour, and they find themselves back home ahead of the Confederations Cup.
And Brazil already won 3 times the Confederation Cup.
They won the last 2. Neither of those were in Brazil. Different type of pressure now. How much pressure will be on Filipão if they don't win the Confederations Cup, or are the fans not too bothered because it's next year that counts?
No, the pressure's always going to be there. It will be worse if Brazil doesn't win, for sure. But he's guaranteed to be the head coach, no matter what, for the next World Cup.
Just a bizarre story from Scolari. You and I covered a fair bit of the Paulista and then the Brasileirão last year, and Palmeiras were absolutely woeful, and he got sacked by them. They ended up getting relegated, and he gets the Brazilian job. This is Marcelo. Recovering play by Mamadou Sakho.
Yeah, Palmeiras lost a lot of games with Filipão.
They did. The coach unable to save them, and the bizarre season they're having this year of playing in the in the Copa Libertadores, yet playing in the 2nd division.
And also, he was blamed for the players that he brought to the club last year.
Complaints from Guilavogu. I think this is within Hulk's territory. 35 yards out.
Yeah, for sure.
Fred and Oscar, the 2 players I would say so far pretty quiet for Brazil. Paulinho didn't go forward as much. So Hulk or Marcelo? Oh, change of tact. And it might work. Oscar. Away by Sakho. And off Matuidi. Brazil get corner number 3.
That's the 2 weeks I mentioned about, man. When you have a time to work on the set piece, it's all right there.
Second chance for Luis Gustavo. What's he going to do this time, Neymar? Oscar. Last time the sides met, just over 2 years ago in Paris, France winning by a goal to 0. Benzema, the second half goal. Hernanes, who's on the bench for Brazil today, was sent off in that game. We might see him in the second half in place of Paulinho. Fernando, a possibility for Luis Gustavo. A bit of strength and depth for the Brazilian coach, Luis Felipe Scolari.
And Hernanes played well against England.
He's a good player.
He was involved in the goal that Fred scored. He hit the crossbar and Fred came with a rebound. And you mentioned that Fred has been very quiet. He's a typical player that he can be like without touching the ball for 40 minutes, and then he's right there in the right position and then putting the ball in the back of the net.
Had a great season last year at Fluminense, scoring 20 goals, the league's top scorer. Brasileiro Alfred. Frederico Chavez Guedes.
It helped him a lot was Wellington Name. Very fast player. Helped Fred a lot. Because Fred's like a more target player. He knows how to position himself inside the box just to finish the play.
Delivery from Valbuena. Well, Fred won't have Wellington Name this season. He's gone to Shakhtar for many millions. Bit sloppy. Knocked up by Oscar. From jeers to cheers. International player. Neymar. I'd just like to see Brazil play with a bit quicker tempo. This tempo is suiting France in their bid to defend. Neymar. Again, 2 or 3 always around him. And that leaves space for others. Well played, Mathieu. Bring it back to Lloris.
Now we saw a little bit of the rotation now with Oscar receiving the ball on the left side. That's very important. Brazil continue doing this rotation, especially between the players, the 3 attacking mids, Hulk, Oscar, and Neymar.
Poor kick from Lloris, and Brazil can start again. The only other time these two have met in Brazil back in June 1977. Edinho and Roberto Dinamite for Brazil. Bobby Dynamite, I think the literal translation would be for Claudio Coutinho's side. Didier Cis and Marius Tresor. Michel Hidalgo's team.
And Roberto Dinamite now Vasco's president.
Yep. Benzema needs options. Payet was behind him, but able to find him. No foul on Fred. Worth a try. Vogie. Impressive so far, the 22-year-old. Very comfortable, either as a centre half or a ball-winning midfielder.
And he had a couple options on the left side. He decided to take the shot.
They've got some really talented young players coming through the ranks, France. I really like Yanga Mbiwa, who's at Newcastle now. Future's bright for the French. Mathieu, one of the old guard. Bit of space, but not many options. Paulinho's back defending, it comes off him. No harm done.
Now this transition has to be very fast.
And it's been slow.
Yeah, it's been slow. Brazil's giving a chance and time to French players come back and just settle and mark again. And we see Joe sitting on the bench. He was with the Brazil national team already in 2010.
I bet he can't believe his luck. Injury suffered by Leandro Damião, thigh problem, rules him out of the Confederations Cup, so Joe gets the call up. For International player now at Atlético Mineiro. This is Neymar. Oscar. Always get confused, that 11 for Brazil. And the fact they're switching as well. We've seen Oscar play right, left, through the middle. I think the majority of Brazilian fans are happy with the way that he sets his team up in the 4-2-3-1.
Well, I think, Mark, it's not the matter of they play 4-4-2 or 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. It's a matter of playing a good soccer. And comparing the way that Brazil is playing today and the first half against England, Brazil is not playing the best. Too slow. That's why I said right at the beginning of the match, so important to capitalize when you have the opportunity. Maybe the same opportunity will not come again. And we saw that after that, France created a couple opportunities, and the game has been very even.
Oscar gets the corner of Guilavogui. A lot of people have said about Brazil, they've got wonderfully talented individuals, but they have struggled recently to gel as a team. Well, he certainly caught that, Hulk. Good block.
And he was with his right foot.
Yeah, Matuidi felt that one. One of many products of the Clairefontaine Academy, Blaise Matuidi.
That's one of the options that Brazil has if Hernandez is playing. Strikes from outside the box. And Hulk is the player that likes to do this very often, but Neymar likes to bring the ball in. Oscar tried a couple minutes ago. If you cannot get behind the French defenders, you gotta start striking the ball from outside the box. And Brazil has players to do that.
Mathieu. Referee brings it back for the foul. And Dani Alves.
Step on his foot.
Usually when a player immediately puts either one or two hands up in front of him, then you know he's maybe a little bit guilty and hoping to get away with it.
And he's been very quiet, Daniel Alves.
There's been a number of players from Brazil who've been quieter than Filipao would have hoped. It's poor from Luis. Got away with it though. It was a poor touch from Guilavogui. Thiago Silva. Dani Alves, far more forward starting position. In for Fred.
First opportunity he got in this game. Very nice header by Fred. Good cross by Daniel Alves. Brazil needs that. The support of their full backs. Daniel Alves on the right side and Marcelo on the left back. The center forwards, they depend on those support from the outside backs.
A great international scoring record, Fred. Nearly 1 in 2. 23 appearances before today. 11 international goals. This is Benzema. Not for the first time we've seen him in possession and then crowded out. Space in the final third's been at a premium so far. That may change now. Hulk. Marcelo. Away by Sacco.
Good timing by Hulk. Waiting for Marcelo, making the overlap, passing him, and then he gave the ball to him.
Fifth corner. A little bit more width from Brazil equals a little bit more chance. Away by Mathieu. Pretty calm from the French, trying to play their way out.
You know, the big advantage that Hulk has with this team, with Filipão, is the fact that he defends very well, and he likes that. You have Neymar on one side, Oscar playing there as the three attacking midfields. It's very important that Hulk brings this balance, and he defends very well. He's a very aggressive player, different than Lucas, for example. A lot of people in Brazil say that Lucas should play instead of Hulk, but it's a different style.
Yeah. Well, one thing Filipão does have, if things aren't going well, is options on the bench.
Yeah, which is very important for a head coach. Players that can change the game.
Luis Gustavo for Marcelo. Support from Hulk. But fortunate there. Fred leaves it for Marcelo. Drilled across and no touch at the back post from Neymar.
Again, Marcelo is the player that involved creating this opportunity. Almost, huh? Put too much pace on this cross. Wasn't able to finish Neymar. But he was in the right spot, far post.
I mentioned Fred's international goal-scoring record. Neymar has 20 in 33. Remember, he scored in his Brazil debut in New Jersey against the United States in August 2010. 2-0 win.
Yeah, Paulo Henrique Ganso was playing that game as well.
Just the one added minute. It's had its moments this first half. I'm not sure, though, that the Brazilian players will get the best ovation from the fans when they head off. It might be one or two boos, or...
Well, I would say probably two.
Thiago Silva. The players are well aware that the half-time interval is coming. Just wonder if we'll get more of a tempo from Brazil in this second half to come. Dani Alves. Away by Sacco. Very good today.
Yeah, the way that France is marking is so important that Dani Alves and Marcelo, they get involved here in attacking.
Possibly the last chance before the half is out. Referee with a whistle to lips and brings the first half to a conclusion. Maybe one or two boos, but majority of cheers.
Yeah, it was a good
Applause.
first half, good quality, but very even match, Mark.
Yeah, Lloris not too much to do. Neither has Julio Cesar. Oscar's been quiet. Paulinho's been quiet. Hulk, it's done okay, but Fred hasn't had much service. So defence is on top at half-time in only the second meeting between Brazil and France. Just like the other one, this one is all square.
Baseball, there's nothing like it. And ESPN has an unstoppable lineup now through to the playoffs. All the dingers, frozen ropes, and line shots up the middle. The no-no.
That's the perfect game.
Web gems and walk-offs.
A walk-off grand slam.
Time to brush up on your lingo, because baseball's here, ready to take the stage. Angels, Orioles, live Wednesday on ESPN2.
This June, ESPN2 brings you the finest from the world of sports. The NBA Finals.
Bang!
Major League Baseball.
Way back and gone. A walk-off grand slam.
Friday night fights. Major League Soccer.
Oh! What's about that?
And NHRA. All that and more this June on ESPN2.
If you're not watching PTI Australia, you're the one missing out. So what I'm saying is...
you're picking
Sean
on
Cor-
me. Why
No,
are
I'm not
you're
picking on
me
you.
because you went to what, year 11 and I went to year 9.
No, I didn't get to year 11. I failed year 11. In fact, I had to. My old man was taking me to school. It was embarrassing. We're both in the same grade.
Oh, boom, boom.
Catch it Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. on ESPN. As always, you know it makes sense.
The road to the NCAA College World Series has begun. The young stars want to prove they've got what it takes. 8 teams battle for the national championship. Win on the field or go home. Who will be the next champion? NCAA Baseball World Series on ESPN2.
Parker with 2 to shoot. And he banks it in. What a shot from Parker.
Already with 3 rings, the Spurs' Big Three has shown their hunger for 4 as they take the series back to San Antonio. But the reigning king looks to put the Heat back on track with a road win in Game 3. The NBA Finals, Game 3, Heat, Spurs, live Wednesday on ESPN.
Step into the ring each week with top-ranked action. In the 12-round main event, 2 undefeated contenders face off in the bantamweight division. Juan Carlos Payano of the Dominican Republic takes on Philippine Jundi Morao. in a WBA title eliminator. Who will remain unbeaten? From New Jersey, it's a night of world-class boxing. Friday Night Fights, this Saturday on ESPN2 and ESPN3.com.
So just like it was last weekend against England, goalless at half-time. The good news in that match, 4 goals were forthcoming in the second half. 1 or 2 half chances in this one so far. I don't think either team could really say they've done enough to be ahead at the break at the Arena do Grêmio. But off to a quick start. What's Hugo Lloris doing here?
I don't know. He was overconfident on this play. Look at that. Neymar stealing the ball from the goalkeeper. Hesitate a little bit to take the shot. And Brazil missed a great opportunity to start the game ahead with only 1 minute into the game.
Now if you see this again, after he takes on Neymar and loses it, there, if he'd had the shot, who knows?
And look at Paulinho, he one of the best right there.
I mean, Sacco had gone back on the line, but still, chance came to nothing. French chance in 15 minutes, decent delivery. The Vogie, far away.
Yeah, jumping between 2 Brazilian defenders, and he won the ball.
The half-hour mark.
Yeah, there was a play by Oscar crossing the ball to Neymar. He had 2 opportunities like this when the ball comes from one side and he's staying far post, trying to finish the play. He had 2 opportunities.
Good defending from Debuchy though. Probably Brazil's best chance of the half. Dani Alves doing well. And Fred, we've seen him score from there plenty times over the last few years.
Nice header, good anticipation by Fred. Might miss the target.
So in their final match before the Confederations Cup begins next weekend against Japan in Brasilia, Brazil are tied 0-0 with France. More to come on ESPN.
Parker with 2 to shoot. And he banks it in. What a shot from Parker.
Already with 3 rings, the Spurs' Big Three has shown their hunger for 4 as they take the series back to San Antonio. But the reigning king looks to put the Heat back on track with a road win in Game 3. The NBA Finals, Game 3, Heat, Spurs, live Wednesday on ESPN.
Looking to get informed and have fun? Watch Mike and Mike. It's outrageous, quirky, outgoing,
from the House of Blues, Manhattan. We are on Broadway.
surprising. It's the nerd versus the athlete.
You really have an attitude about you. What? You remain wrong about that.
No idea what you're talking about.
Mike and Mike on ESPN2.
The road to the NCAA College World Series has begun. The young stars want to prove they've got what it takes. 8 teams battle for the national championship. Win on the field or go home. Who will be the next champion? NCAA Baseball World Series on ESPN2.
Step into the ring each week with top-ranked action. In the 12th-round main event, 2 undefeated contenders face off in the bantamweight division. Juan Carlos Payano of the Dominican Republic takes on Philippine Jundi Morao in a WBA title eliminator. Who will remain unbeaten? From New Jersey, it's a night of world-class boxing. Friday Night Fights, this Saturday on ESPN2 and ESPN3.com. John, a sports fan, is always searching for genius answers and opinions.
Einstein, who is your #1 pick for this year's draft and why?
E equals MC squared?
That's why John looks for answers in the show that scores the argument, Around the Horn, where 4 masters battle for FaceTime on a daily debate of the hottest sports topics. It's the perfect source for supporting John's sports IQ. Around the Horn, simply genius.
Pretty tight so far. Brazil 0, France 0 on ESPN from the Arena do Grêmio in Porto Alegre. Home to Brasileirão sides, Internacional and Grêmio. Decent crowd in attendance. A lot of fans have brought their Internacional and Grêmio tops with them. So how have Brazil done in 2013? Well, They haven't lost many. They've not won many either under Scolari. Just the one victory, and that was against Bolivia.
Yeah, it was against Bolivia 4-0. They played well against Italy. Brazil was winning 2-0, but Italy came back second half and tied the game 2-2. We see the upcoming matches for Brazil next Saturday. Beginning of the Confederation Cup, Brazil face Japan in Brasilia, and then Brazil will face Mexico. The game will be playing Fortaleza, and then Brazil will face Italy.
And that game in Salvador. Possible of Brazil against Spain in the Confederations Cup latter stages if they both get through the group. What about France in their World Cup qualifying? Well, they're in the group with Spain in Group I. They drew 1-1 away, great result, but then lost 1-0 at home, so it's 1 from 2. Spain or France going through, probably Spain automatically. And that would leave France into a playoff, although they would be seeded. And for Georgia, Belarus and Finland, good luck to them, although Finland got a good point in Spain to Patalainen's Finnish side. Next up for them, they go to Brussels. They did Belgium against Serbia on Friday. Belgium's looking pretty good right now. Top of World Cup qualifying Group A. It'll be a tasty match between the two near neighbours, and then the 3 World Cup qualifiers to Georgia and Belarus. So when we come back, second half from Porto Alegre, where we get goals like we've had in the majority of Brazilian matches under Scolari in 2013. Find out when we come back on ESPN.
Parker with 2 to shoot, and he banks it in. What a shot from Parker!
Already with 3 rings, the Spurs' Big Three has shown their hunger for 4 as they take the series back to San Antonio. But the reigning king looks to put the Heat back on track with a road win in Game 3. The NBA Finals, Game 3, Heat, Spurs, live Wednesday on ESPN.
If you're not watching PGA Australia, you're the one missing out. So what I'm saying is...
So what? You're picking on me.
No, I'm not picking on you.
Because you went to what, year 11 and I went to year 9?
No, I didn't get to year 11. I failed year 11. In fact, I had to. My old man was taking me to school. It was embarrassing. We were both in the same grade.
Oh, boom, boom.
Catch it Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. on ESPN. As always, you know it makes sense.
Looking to get informed and have fun? Watch Mike and Mike. It's outrageous, quirky, outgoing,
From the House of Blues, Manhattan, we are on Broadway.
surprising. It's the nerd versus the
You
athlete.
really have an attitude about you. What? You remain wrong about that.
No idea what you're talking about.
Mike and Mike on ESPN2.
This June, ESPN2 brings you the finest from the world of sports. The NBA Finals. Major League Baseball.
Way back and gone. A walk-off grand slam.
Friday night fights. Major League Soccer. And NHRA. All that and more this June on ESPN2.
Baseball, there's nothing like it. And ESPN has an unstoppable lineup now through to the playoffs. All the dingers, frozen ropes, and line shots up the middle. The no-no. Web gems and walk-offs.
Gone. A walk-off grand slam.
Time to brush up on your lingo, because baseball's here, ready to take the stage. Angels, Orioles, live Wednesday on ESPN2.
Dorival Jr. is another coach that is well known for being a good coach to work with the young players.
Second half underway as we continue on Brazil's global tour, as it's officially known. Haven't had to come too far. Porto Alegre 0-0 half-time against France. Keep you in touch with changes throughout the second half, but none to report so far. Benzema.
And maybe this is a sign that this is the team that Felipão believes that's going to start the Confederation Cup. Coming back to the second half here with no change.
Yeah, maybe wants to give them as much game time as possible. Mentioned in the first half about the talent that Brazil have, but maybe not quite gelling as a team. The more they get to play together, the more that could gel. Good skill. Paulinho. Fred, options. Hulk. Expected better from him.
Yeah, he tried to place the ball there with the left foot. Maybe it's a ball that you go and hit it diagonal with your right foot, but that's not his strength with the right foot. He tried to place with the left foot, but good play, good ball by Fred too.
Matia. Bit of space here for Benzema. Switch. And the hit into the side netting. Cabai had Valbuena in support. And that had Julio Cesar scrambling.
And Marcelo was concerned because he had two players. He didn't know he was going to put a pressure on the ball or following the player that's making the run on his left side. That's the way that Rooney scored the goal last week.
Yeah.
He received the ball, he had too much space, dribble and strike the ball so well. Whoever is closer to the ball needs to put a pressure on the ball.
Marcelo in field, but a vital little touch there from Guilavogui. Wide by Luis Gustavo for Neymar. Against Debussy.
And again, Paulinho was in a very good position at the top of the box, waiting for the pass. Neymar tried to cross the ball all the way to the right side.
I wonder how patient the Porto Alegre crowd will be, because the longer it went 0-0 last week in Rio at the Maracanã, there were a number of frustrated fans who vented their frustration.
Yeah, I believe if this game was been playing in a different state right now, Mark, it would be a different environment.
Felipão may be granted a stay of execution from this area.
There are a lot of fans also from Santa Catarina. We gotta remember that Felipão won the Copa do Brasil when he was coaching Criciúma back in 1991.
One of his 23 coaching roles. Not really any point in Brazilian managers or coaches getting a mortgage, is there? Never really there long enough. Just rent, it's cheaper. Debussy. Matuidi. Good feet. Payet.
Yeah, Francis. Strike from outside the box. Second shot.
The good thing for Brazil, they're not up against a team that's just going to come and sit in and not really attack. France believe they can do something here.
Now we saw Thiago Silva talking to his teammates, not very happy with the way that Brazil is giving space, too much space outside the box for the midfield French players, bringing the ball up and striking the ball.
France are dearly hoping to get to the World Cup. Brazil back here next year after a disappointing showing in South Africa, finishing bottom of Group A, behind Uruguay, Mexico and the hosts. Just get the feeling this second half's a little bit more stretched than a lot of the first half. A little bit more space. A problem for Hulk here.
Yeah, he got a piece there.
Yeah, strong challenge. Lucas Moura would be an obvious replacement. Don't think that was malicious from Sacco.
Yeah, the fans will start shouting, Lucas, Lucas.
Again, a slow, patient build-up from Brazil. Credit to France. not much space available for their opponents. Any change here? Marcelo against Debuchy. Challenge. And a goal kick. Came back off Real Madrid left fullback.
Yeah, second time in this second half, Brazil's making this play, switching the point of attack, making this ball, this pass to Marcelo on the left side. Looks like Filipão is giving him a lot of freedom to go up in the second half.
What about that touch from Valbuena? So back from Benzema. Support arriving from Cabaye. Sensible though. Ilovoglu. Mathieu. Looking for Payet. This comes Thiago Silva.
The captain. Last World Cup, he was on the bench as an option.
Yeah, didn't play at all. World Cup in South Africa. Now the French have got plenty height. Adil Rami forward from the back. Amadou Sakho. Two centre halves. Julio Cesar did not get a touch. He's wanting a bit more communication though with these defenders.
She's happy.
Yeah. But if Neymar's child is in attendance.
Yeah, usually.
Santos games he normally was. Dani Alves. Very well, Payet, in both attacking and defending today, helping out his teammates. A flick from Oscar for Hulk against Mathieu. He's running out of room.
Good try by Hulk. Well, Lucas is a good option for Brazil in this second half. Interesting about Lucas is the fact that he hasn't scored a goal this year. Last goal he scored when he was playing for São Paulo in a match against Tigre.
Yeah.
South America Cup.
Fred, no foul. Despite the protestations. What a chance for Oscar! Sixth international goal. And the deadlock broken in Porto Alegre.
What a delivery by Fred. Good switch position by the Brazilian forwards. Fred making the run there on the left side and creating space there for Oscar. And he was right there. Good first touch receiving the ball. And the play start right there with Luis Gustavo stealing the ball from Brazil. And great look by Fred. He looked, saw Oscar and received the ball so well. Very composed when the goalkeeper came out. Just placed the ball, putting Brazil ahead 1-0.
And how fitting. It's the former Internacional Porto Alegre player. A special goal for a special talent. Brazil 1 up.
Yeah, I think this goal, I believe, is going to help Brazil a lot to feel a little bit more comfortable to play this game. Less pressure right now for Brazil.
Something about second half under the Scolari's side. They took the lead last week after 57 minutes against England through Fred. This week in 54 minutes through Oscar.
And he's a player who can finish, huh?
Yeah.
Very talented, Oscar.
We saw that when he was at Internacional. Attracted the attention of Chelsea. Should that have been a foul? That's the big question that the French were asking. Valbuena was challenged by Luis Gustavo. He said he won the ball. Referee agreed. Play continued. The problem that France had was Debuchy was complaining about the decision. He switched off. And the ball to be played into Oscar and a comfortable finish. Alves for Hulk. 2 to aim for. Flick wide. He nearly got his second. Neymar was lurking behind.
Well, Brazil were very fast, moving the ball here. Good play by Hook, crossing the ball, keeping the ball on the ground for the players that making the run inside. Almost the Brazil scoring the second goal. But about the first goal, I believe Felipão is going to be very proud of Luis Gustavo, because he's the one that started the play. And it's a typical play that Luis Gustavo wants to see from his defensive holding midfield, doing the job, stealing the ball and starting the counterattack.
The difference a goal makes. From Cabaye. Well, and Thiago Silva. So important to Brazil. Another option that Felipão has is Thiago Silva along with Dante. David Luiz into a holding midfield role. Marcelo spins away from the challenge. Better tempo in the second half as well.
Yeah, this goal will help it to open up a little bit, and then we're gonna see how France is gonna respond to this, because they have been playing 4-5-1 only with Benzema on the top. Let's see if Didier Deschamps will bring more players to support Benzema and try to tie this match.
Will this be Brazil's first win over France since August 1992? The second time they've met France in Brazil. She might have something to say about this though. Wide from Benzema. Too much for Debuchy. French warming up their substitutes as well. It's not the most experienced of French squads. Bakary Sagna is probably the most experienced. Outfield players certainly by way of caps. Along with Karim Benzema. Got even 90 between them. Look at Oscar's celebrations.
And it looks like Luis Gustavo got a little piece off the French player. I believe it was a foul, but the referee let it go.
That'll do the relations between Peru and Brazil the power of good. Victor Carrillo. The referee also took charge of the Libertadores match last month between Fluminense and Emelec. 20 more cards in that one, 6 yellows and 2 reds. This one, players have been pretty well behaved. Just the 1 yellow for Hulk in the first half. This is Marcelo. Looks like he's playing with so much confidence now, Oscar, after that goal. Neymar fouled by Debuchy.
Yeah, he's moving a lot, touching the ball, looking for the ball. He's very involved in the match, Oscar. It's very important for Brazil because he has a lot of talent.
Marcelo. And why not? Sloppy from the French, but then Sacco does that. Mathieu finding Payet. Look at this. 3-on-3 at the back. Benzema in the centre, along with Payet. Nearly an own goal from Luis. Denied by Julio César.
What a great save. Good reaction by Julio César.
Nice counter from France. Started by a very impudent flick from Mamadou Sakho.
Yeah, Brazil bet was going to steal the ball, putting the pressure right, high pressure, but France was able to move the ball, and it was a great opportunity. Almost tied the match. First save by Julio César, I believe, Mark.
Yeah, because Vogi fired wide in 15 minutes. And Cabaye hit the side netting in 48. You're spot on. Paulinho. Amazing to think he had a season in Lithuania. FC Vilnius in 2006-07. Really improved in Inter. I mean, really interested in Paulinho. Also interest from the English Premier League. Wide by Cabaye. Benzema. One too many for Debuchy. Now he's out of position. In transition, an hour gone. Brazil 1 up, looking for a second. Hulk in support, and Fred. This is Neymar.
Yeah, tried to bend the ball in. Neymar wasn't successful. The new Barcelona player. So used to say Santos player. No?
Yeah.
Barcelona player.
Opposing Spanish teams managers next season. Right, lads, make sure you pick up Neymar and Messi. 5 players left. This is better from France. Nice shot blocked. Good spell this for the French. Just 1-0 in midweek in Montevideo against Uruguay. Benzema. Second corner for France. 4 places above Brazil in the world rankings, for what that's worth. This boy can play at the top. Vogi. His second cap. Looks like he's played international football for years. Not a bad corner. Mathieu got the flick.
Wow.
No touch from Sacco.
2 players all by themselves, far post. Brazil was lucky here. Look at bad position by the Brazil defenders on this corner kick. Nobody there in the far post.
Some managers like men on the post, some don't. Now we're going to get some changes.
Yeah, Lucas
Moura. And the home favourite Fernando as well, from Grêmio. Come on for his 6th cap. The fans hoped he would start ahead of Luis Gustavo. Fernando, the prize.
Yeah, and the Grêmio fans are very happy.
I'd say there's probably more Grêmio fans here than Internacional fans. This is Grêmio's home stadium. It's purely based on the reception that the Grêmio and Internacional players are getting. Mathieu.
Yeah, those 2 clubs, big rivals.
They don't like each other.
Porto Alegre.
Hulk. Off him last. Matuidi still down. Pretty warm day in Brazil. 72 degrees at kickoff, just dropped to 68, 69 degrees. Lucas Moura and Fernando get their final instructions from Filipao.
Last week he took out Oscar to put Lucas.
Yeah, fans booed him.
I don't think he's going to take out Oscar today.
No. Well, Fernando is probably going to come on for Luis Gustavo.
Yes.
Lucas Moura, I would imagine, for Hulk. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I would imagine it's going to be for Hulk. Because Oscar wasn't 100% last week.
Let's find out.
Let's see. Unless he's not 100% again today, but he's played so well.
You can see the Grêmio jerseys in the crowd. They're welcoming on.
He's making the same substitution.
Listen. Now, I'll tell you why he made the substitution last week, and he told the fans this. Fans booed him when he replaced Oscar with Lucas Moura. He said the fans need to be more patient. Oscar played 71 times this season for club and country. He said they just need to realise that. Wants to keep his players fresh. Doesn't want Oscar to play 90 minutes. Did the fans listen? No, they didn't. They booed him again.
Yeah, they're doing this right now. I think the fact that he has Fernando right now playing with Luis Gustavo, he probably will bring Hernanes, or he wants to keep those 2 over there to defend, and it looks like he's going to bring Joe now. Joe may have a chance to play in this match, which is very good news for Joe.
Yeah, he was expecting 6 weeks off.
Yeah.
What a chance for 2! The follow-up! And Lloris doing well. Fred, a rare opportunity.
A good cross by Lucas, getting involved, and nice save by the goalkeeper. Going back for the rebound and recover the ball. Now Lucas is a player that he hasn't scored. We mentioned that he hasn't scored a goal yet in 2013, but he's a player who can pass the ball and cross the ball so well. We saw that in a game against England. When he gets the ball on the right side, he's not selfish. He looks for the best player to finish the play, which is very important.
Switch over to this side now for Valbuena. At least this week, Oscar's had 10 minutes more on the field than he did last week against England before being replaced by Lucas Moura. Really has settled in well at Paris Saint-Germain. Maybe, as Flavio was saying, hasn't scored, but certainly enjoyed himself in that Champions League run. Title winner as well. Saint-Germain winning the French Championnat for the first time in many years.
Yeah, with those subs, now Paulinho's going to have a more chance to support the attack, Mark, which is very important. That's the way people in Brazil wanted to see Paulinho playing, the way he plays for Corinthians, scoring so many goals. That's why I believe that he got called for the national team, coming as a surprise so many times and scoring goals. He's a player that can finish.
Neymar, once again, Debuchy not far away. Marcelo, Paulinho. They want the corner, they get the corner. Number 6. After a couple of changes last week, Paulinho playing that little bit further forward, got the equalising goal for Brazil against England. Also had a spell in Poland. He was very much a journeyman at one stage. Paulinho played for Widzew Łódź. Only 4 to aim for. Didn't commit too many forward there. They have plenty back to defend. Dimitri Payet.
Now, Mark, early in this match, you asked if Filipão was going to try something different.
Yeah.
Right now, he's doing that because he's keeping Luis Gustavo there with Fernando and then Paulinho with the freedom to go up a little bit more. It's a different formation. Pretty sure he's happy with the lead 1-0. That's why he's right now he has 2 defensive midfielders right there. That's the risk that he doesn't want to take like he did against England.
Paulinho.
Oh, great ball.
That was good defending there from Sacco, using his strength.
You know, Fred has a lot of skill, and he's a player, center forward, that doesn't need to take too many touches on the ball. He can, with only one touch, give a good ball and give a good position to his teammate. Here comes Joe.
Happy haircut, Joe. Clément Grenier coming on for France. Just as well he didn't book a holiday to the Seychelles while the Brasileirão takes a break, Joe. Leandro Damião gets injured, thigh problem, and in comes Joe. Lacazette coming on to replace Valbuena.
Yeah, it's a change of midfield player for another midfield player, fresh legs in the midfield for France.
Benzema going off as well. Lacazette's a straight swap for Valbuena. And on coming Olivier Giroud. Quiet match in Montevideo in midweek against Uruguay. All change, and off coming Fred. Surprisingly, replaced by Joe. Only his 4th cap for Joe. Manchester City player, Everton, Galatasaray, began at Corinthians. Joined Atlético Mineiro from Internacional.
Joe, the man that was having the day off in Rio de Janeiro. Thursday, he got called by Filipão. Filipão told him, call him and say, "Are you ready?" He said, "Yes, because I need you." You know, what's interesting about this call is the fact that we see in the Brazil national team now. We see Hever, the defender. We see Bernard. We see now Joe, and all those players. Let's watch this one.
Marcelo. Find Joe.
They have had a lot of success, those players, especially because the way that Ronaldinho is playing. Because how many goals Rivera scored with his head crossed by Ronaldinho? How many passes Joe received from Ronaldinho, scored goals? The same with Bernard.
Whole raft of changes there. For Brazil in total, I made. Couple for France.
Well, the striker Benzema, he wasn't 100%. He was recovering from a knee injury.
Didn't play midweek.
But Didier Deschamps keep playing the same way, 4-5-1. In this system, you depend a lot from the midfield players making supporting the attack, supporting the center forward.
Lacazette's another one who's had a haircut, but like Joe, his flowing locks used to be seen at the Stade Gerland for Lyon. Good opportunity for Lacazette, replacing Valbuena. Just his second cap, as it is for Clément Grenier. Lull in proceedings right now. Brazil leading by 1-0. Oscar, former Internacional Porto Alegre player. Chelsea with the goal. 54 minutes.
And Neymar has been very quiet in the second half. The same thing happened last Sunday against England.
Marcelo just clips the wall. Dani Alves. Lucas Moura. I thought some European football fans were hard to please. If Brazil don't win 5-0 every week, supporters find something to moan about. Neymar. I think Debussy's played him pretty well today.
He really did. Not giving enough space, not time for Neymar to think. When Neymar received the ball, he's right there.
Cheers for Fernando from the Grêmio fans in attendance, which there are many.
Oh, Neymar is better get used to this, Mark.
Yeah.
He's going to face different time of defending when he goes and play in Europe for Barcelona.
I tell you, the fans of the nations who'll be playing in the World Cup in Porto Alegre next year can look forward to a beautiful city in a lovely part of the world. Down by Guaíba Bay. Southernmost city that will host the World Cup next year. Neymar.
You know, you mentioned about the ranking and the fact that the Brazil position in the ranking, the fact that Brazil's not haven't been playing competition match. The last competition that Brazil played was Copa America.
Yeah, that didn't exactly go according to plan.
And that was back in 2011.
Yeah, losing on penalties to Paraguay in the quarterfinals.
And that was a very odd PKs because Brazil missed out the PKs.
That's right, yeah. It was Elano, Thiago Silva, André Santos and Fred all missing. From Lucas Moura. I think you get a very hungry player now with Joe. You get someone who's very eager to impress. It would be a bad thing. Leandro Damião's a good player, but he's now missing, and it's a different option that Joe's come in.
It's kind of has nothing to lose.
No.
You know, he got called a couple days ago, and he has played for the national team before.
Yeah, only 3 times yet to score for them.
Maybe what's happening to him is the same thing that happened to André. André got a chance also to play for the national team when he was playing for Santos, scoring goals. But Santos had at that time brilliant team.
Yeah.
With Neymar, Paulo Henrique Ganso, just serving André. André was scoring so many goals, and he ended up being called for the national team. And people that it's following Brasileirão right now, the Brazilian Championship.
He's not been the same, has he? Of late, André?
No.
Quiet since he came back
Very
from Dynamo
quiet.
Kiev.
Now he's playing for Vasco da Gama.
Sure he's had a touch yet, Olivier Giroud. Certainly 1 or 2 decent performances from France. Mamadou Sakho's been excellent. Really been impressed by Guilavogui. Defensive midfield. Certainly a few for Brazil that have got pass marks. Goodbye. Just got the feeling that goal that Brazil scored, there was a spell after that they were looking for a second, but just now it seems to be a case of what we have, we hold. We have some work defensively to do. Payet unable to get it through. Lucas Moura. Sure he expected it back as quick as it did. Chance here for Lacazette. It's the throw.
Yeah, good cover there by Thiago Silva.
His second cap, both the subs. First one in midweek, Lacazette against Uruguay. Video. Finally, the French will get a chance to rest their players and go on holiday after this one. Final game of the season for the boys in blue.
The Brazilian fans at the stadium, they have been very quiet.
They have today, yeah. It's a decent crowd as well. By the way, the last time Joe played for the Brazilian national team was in the Olympics in 2008. 5 years ago nearly. More changes.
Yep. Hernanes.
Luis Gustavo.
Luis Gustavo's coming out. Hernanes. Play well against England. Hernanes is a good option for the midfield. Had a very good season in Italy.
He did, yeah.
Hernanes.
Sao Paulo player. He's had 3 good years at Lazio since moving from the Brasileirão. Lacazette. Thanks for the handball. Marcelo maybe should have just stuck to his task and then complained. Get away with it though. Brazilian throw. 10 minutes to go. Brazil leading through Oscar's goal after 54 minutes. ESPN's coverage of Brazil's international friendly matches. Mark Donaldson alongside Flavio Pereira. This is Jeremy Mathieu. Wants it back. Payet.
He didn't go to the ball because it's coming from an offside position.
I think Brazil have defended okay today. Still not overly convinced about their abilities from set pieces to defend. Bafetambi Gomes will come on.
And if you look back the last friendlies from Brazil, Brazil gave up too many goals against England, too, against Chile, too. Russia 1 goal.
A rare clean sheet under Scolari was against Bolivia. As Cabai makes way.
Against Italy, Brazil gave up 2 goals.
Not sure about the bing bong as the substitutes are made. It sounds like some sort of train is coming into the platform. Neymar. Tracked well there by Joshua Iravogui.
And Gomes, he plays for Lyon, 27 years old.
Be a bit of a flair player at times. As a striker or just in behind. Play off Olivier Giroud. His goal-scoring record for his club is phenomenal. Bafetambi Gomes scored at least 10 goals in each of his last 7 seasons. You just wonder though if he'll get any opportunities in the remaining 7 or so minutes in Porto Alegre.
Filipão is keeping Paulinho as a midfield player, one of the 3 that plays attacking mid.
I prefer him in that position.
Yeah, with Hernanes playing back with Fernando.
I saw a lot of him for Corinthians and he played alongside Ralph. Ralph gave him that protection to push a little bit further forward.
Yeah. And they are so used to each other, Ralph and Paulinho, when they play for Corinthians.
Indeed. Third corner for France. He's a presence, Gomes. Wonder if anybody is coming around the back again. This time, Marcelo's clearance. Payet with a poor touch now. It's 4-on-2. If they play their cards right here, they could get number 2. And what a woeful ball in behind. Still an option for Lucas Moura. Hernanes, and the effort is in. He'll take that.
First chance he got to the game to strike a ball, and Hernanes put the ball in the back of the net. Very unselfish play by Neymar. Just touching the ball back to Hernanes, was facing the goal. Very smart play, and a counter-attack that started with Paulinho. A bad first touch by the French player, allowing Brazil to create this counter-attack. Look at the beautiful ball by Lucas finding Neymar on the other side. And his first touch to Hernanes.
He slips just before he takes the shot as well. That's a good finish from Hernanes. Second international goal.
But perfect counter-attack, perfect. Moving the ball one side to the other, with the midfield players making the run, facing the goal, and the ball is playing back to the midfield player, in this case Hernanes, and strike the ball and put the ball in the back of the net.
He'll not complain about the mishit, will he?
No, not at all.
2-0 Brazil. Heading for their first win over France since August 1992, and their first ever victory over France on Brazilian soil. David Luiz departs. Scored against Gabon, which we actually had for you on ESPN back in November 2011 when the lights went out just before kickoff. 5 minutes to go, 2-0 Brazil. Plenty happy campers in attendance now. The key for Brazil is to make sure they get the clean sheet.
outside.
Flag up over on the far side. Initially with the 4-on-2 counter, in the transition you felt it wasn't going to work when the ball was played behind. That's a tight one, probably wrong as well.
Very tight one.
But you and I have seen plenty of Neymar in the past, maybe trying to take that down, score for himself. I think that just shows signs of a little bit more maturity from Neymar.
Definitely. And we see over here, Paulinho looks like it's coming out for Dante. Dante used to play Rio Grande do Sul, used to play for Juventude. It's very important for Neymar to make plays like that one. He has a lot of talent, and he can play the ball first touch like he did the ball to Hernandez, because he draws the attention of the defenders. If somebody's making the run, movements off the ball, he's going to be able to receive the ball.
Another reason maybe why this stadium isn't full today, because Grêmio are also in action, away to Atlético Mineiro, Minas Gerais.
Now, Mark, now we see David Luiz playing as a defensive midfielder.
Yeah, Dante going at the back.
Too bad he's going to have maybe 4 minutes.
Yeah, but maybe a touch or two. Foul on Dani Alves. 4 games in the Brasileirão today. Fluminense against Goiás. Atlético Paranaense go to Vitória. Curitiba against Náutico.
Bernard now replacing Neymar.
Yeah, linked with Tottenham Hotspur in the papers in England this morning. Would you rate Neymar's performance today?
Wasn't the way that we would like to see in Neymar. See also the reaction for the fans. Some are happy, some are not. We expect a little bit more from him, but he was involved in the second goal with a lot of talent, just playing the ball back to Hernandez. Well, I think we're going to see a better Neymar in the Confederation Cup.
Just think he needs a rest, which he'll eventually get after the Confed Cup. The head of Dante. Calm defending from Ariel Rami.
Now, Mark, we talk about how important it is the coach to have options to change the team, and he has that, Filipão. Again, Hernandez came in the second half and was impact against England, and he was very involved in the first goal when he struck the ball from outside, and here scoring the second goal.
He's an unbelievable talent, Bernard. I think getting the chance at the age he is right now to play alongside Ronaldinho has really helped him come on.
Oh, definitely.
And Ronaldinho said as well that Bernard maybe elongated Ronaldinho's career by a season or two. Enjoying his football.
Bernard was the rookie of the year, the Brasileirão last year.
Not too many people complaining about that decision. Super young prospect, Bernard, just 20 years old. Actually had a loan 3 years ago when he was just 17 at Democrata.
Yeah, another team from Minas Gerais, Democrata.
Yeah, to fatten him up. Just to give him that experience of playing against stronger players.
Talking about resting, huh?
Yeah. 3-minute rest wasn't quite what I was thinking. He played 75 games in 2012, Neymar. The day he played in a friendly in Stockholm and Solna for Brazil against Sweden, a 3-0 win, then played the next again day for Santos away from home. A private jet to take him back. Can Brazil get 3? Oh, he stubbed his toe, Bernard.
Good transition again by Brazil. Brazil has been playing very well on the counter-attack, especially this second half, creating some good opportunities.
Bernard's another example of not needing a physical presence and height to be successful. Only 5'4", same height as Valbuena, who went off earlier for France. Unbelievable technical ability. They're still hungry, the Brazilians. The subs who've come on want to prove to Filipao that he should be considered for a spot in his starting 11 against Japan next week. Marcelo with only Bernard in support. Nice decoy by Bernard. He wanted it back on his left, and that is a spot kick. The foul from Debuchy. And who gets to take it? Marcelo says me. Lucas Moura wants it. Dani Alves wants it. Dani Alves has it. Hernandez wants it. Bernard wants it.
What a great run by Marcelo. Diagonal run. Good touch, bringing the ball back and clear a foul.
Penalty all day long. Just dragging the trailing leg. And who will get to take the penalty?
Lucas. Oh, they want him to score, Mark. They want him to score.
Has not scored since he left his former club for Paris Saint-Germain. Can he get his 4th goal for Brazil and his 1st since September 2011? Yes, he can! His 1st goal of 2013. And Lucas Moura with a big smile on his face. Job done for Brazil. And into the Confederations Cup go they, with a resounding 3-0 win over France.
Yeah,
and smiles on faces.
Well taken by Lucas, very composed, and just putting the ball back in the net. The goalie tried to guess the side, but wasn't very happy with his decision. Well taken by Lucas. Even under pressure, very calm, composed. Brazil 3-0.
First goal of the calendar year for Lucas Moura, a very popular teammate.
Yeah, that shows a lot of teamwork there, huh? Which is very important.
And there goes the final whistle.
Yeah, and the fans are happy, Mark. Finally, Brazil win.
Against France for the first time in nearly 21 years. Their 6th win over France. I just wonder what Filipao has learned today ahead of the Confederations Cup. Will his mind be changed now as to his starting lineup? Well, if you were late to join us, we'll recap all the action, the highlights on ESPN when we come back.
Step into the ring each week with top-ranked action. In the 12-round main event, 2 undefeated contenders face off in the bantamweight division. Juan Carlos Payano of the Dominican Republic takes on Philippine Jundi Morao in a WBA title eliminator. Who will remain unbeaten? From New Jersey, it's a night of world-class boxing. Friday Night Fights, this Saturday on ESPN2 and ESPN3.com. Baseball, there's nothing like it. And ESPN has an unstoppable lineup now through to the playoffs. All the dingers, frozen ropes, and line shots up the middle. The no-no.
That's a perfect game!
Web gems and walk-offs.
Gone! A walk-off grand slam!
Time to brush up on your lingo, because baseball's here, ready to take the stage. Angels, Orioles, live Wednesday on ESPN2.
If you're not watching PTI Australia, you're the one missing out. So what I'm saying is...
you're picking on me.
No, I'm not picking on you.
Because you went to what, year 11 and I went to year 9.
No, I didn't get to year 11. I failed year 11. In fact, I had to. My old man was taking me to school. It was embarrassing. We were both in the same grade.
Boom, boom.
Catch it Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. on ESPN. As always, you know it makes sense.
The world's top players are all in for $1 million jackpot and some golds.
Life-changing money.
From Melbourne, the 2013 World Series of Poker Asia Pacific. Coverage begins July 14th on ESPN.
Parker with 2 to shoot. And he banks it in! What a shot from Parker!
Already with 3 rings. The Spurs' big 3 has shown their hunger for 4 as they take the series back to San Antonio. But the reigning king looks to put the Heat back on track with a road win in Game 3. The NBA Finals, Game 3, Heat, Spurs, live Wednesday on ESPN.
Oh, what a day this has become. Upset after upset. Again, an incredibly close race. Great move out of the starting gate. Oh, a little smoke over there for Whiteland. Top bench. He's going to get the strike first, and he's going to go into the team. 5:17.8, 277 miles an hour.
Well, Philly Powell said the world rankings were daft. They're 4 below France, but Brazil with a 3-0 win. Their first chance inside a couple of minutes in the second half. Hulk driving it wide.
Yeah, the ball, they start from the left side. Good transition by Brazil. Brazil played very well in the second half with fast transition. This time Hulk with the opportunity.
The bright start to the second half. 60 seconds later, Cabaye on a good counter for France. Win had gone offside. Cabaye trying his luck himself, sideline.
Yeah, beginning of the second half, France had a couple opportunities striking the ball from outside the box.
Then the opening goal. This was deemed no foul on Valbuena by Luis Gustavo. Fred doing well, finding Oscar from Internacional Porto Alegre. Player did the rest.
Yeah, I believe it was a foul back there, but the referee said play on, and a good play by Fred. Preparing the ball, stealing the ball on the first by Luis Gustavo, and then here Fred. Look, a great pass, good first touch by Oscar, nice finish.
Yeah, took it nice and quick as well. Touch and then the immediate finish. Continued to press, and Dani Alves involved. Save, not once but twice by Lloris, first of all denying Fred.
Yeah, Fred was very fast receiving the ball and finished right away.
Delivery. Taking it quickly, Fred. Denied the chance to get his 12th international goal. 2-0. On the counter again. 4-on-2. And when this pass is played, you're thinking, oh, for goodness sake, they've lost the chance. But they continued. It's not the prettiest of finishes from Hernandez, but it is good play from Neymar. The Lazio man will take it.
Yeah, and I think that France was very slow coming back because Neymar was out by himself waiting for that pass, waiting for that cross by Lucas, and a good touch by Neymar finding Hernandez finish. Brazil 2-0.
Still time for a third. Clear penalty for the foul on Marcelo by Debuchy. A nice touch to give it to Lucas Moura, who hasn't scored since his final goal for Sao Paulo against Tigre in the Copa Sudamericana on the 13th of December. His first goal of 2013.
Yeah, he gave very nice, very composed, calm, putting the ball in the back of the net.
So upcoming, Japan, Mexico and Italy. Does that fill you with a little bit more enthusiasm, Flavio, as a proud Brazilian seeing that today?
Yes, and I believe all the players as well, and the coach Filipão. I think that the fact that Brazil came up with a good win today, 3-0, will give them enough confidence to start well this Confederation Cup.
You think the newspapers tomorrow will be kind to Brazil?
Yes, I believe so, Mark.
For France, they kind of gave up after 70 minutes or so. Did all right in the first half as well. They go to Brussels to face Belgium before World Cup qualifiers at Georgia and Belarus, and then they end against Miksu Patalainen's Finland side on the 15th of October. Pretty much guaranteed a playoff spot. They're going to need Spain to drop points, though, if they are to win that World Cup qualifying Group I. They came in hope to Porto Alegre that their team could get the win to take them into the Confederations Cup, and that's exactly what they got. Oscar, Hernandez and Lucas Moura. You got up early to watch us, we appreciate that. Thank you for that in Australia and New Zealand. There's more reaction at ESPNFC.com. To Flavio and to the guys behind the scenes, thank you, and to you for watching as well. I'm Mark Donaldson. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Bye for now.